Alrighty, we are live. Hopefully, we got some people up in here. Hopefully, got zero up in here. Okay, then. Well, I want to get this thing over and out of the way. Obviously, hello, everybody. Watch this in a video or live stream. Welcome to episode 6, 6 of the Damaged Incorporated show. I'm your host, Ryan Arnold, aka Demon Master Reviews here. And today, it's a 2-for-1. Obviously, doing my what is up, Mike? Today I'm doing my top, as you can tell by the title, I'm doing my top 10 favorite albums of this year because I looked at what was coming out in December. Really nothing else aside from the one that I did end up listening to all the way. So just waited on that one. But yeah, I've got 10 albums on here. And before I get into it, I do want to mention there are some honorable mentions I do want to mention. Those albums that couldn't make it onto this list, which, by the way, the band or artist in some cases that ends up being number one in this will get an immediate retrospective next year. And I will mention who that one person is. But obviously, honorable mentions go to albums from Carcosa Anthology, Scion's self-titled debut. It's the a project of one Jared Dines and Light the Torch vocalist and Light the Torch and Killswitch Engage vocalist Howard Jones. There's just a slew of other albums I have listened to quite a bit, and I can't really remember any others, but let's get into this. Let's get into this list. And also what's going to happen on the channel, whether it be here or on Utreon, obviously. So let's get into this. We start off with the number 10 spot. I've wanted to give this one a tie between these two, and that is the album from Lordi called Lordiversity and Transatlantic, the Absolute Universe. Yeah, both are completely different styles. Obviously, Lordi's more hard rock, sometimes metal, but obviously in that case, that Lordiversity is a huge. If I can adjust this blanket real quick. Lordiversity happens to be a box set of 7 albums of original material, and each of them are of different styles. I've only gone through 3 of the albums on there. I listened to, what was it, Spooky, Sextravaganza, Spectacular, which is kind of their industrial metal album, and Abracadaver, which is their heavy metal album, and then I just finished listening to Humanimals, which is their AOR album. But they did do, I think I saw them, they said to do a prog album, The Masterpiece of the Moon, which I'm getting to. It's called The Masterpiece of the Moon. I haven't gotten to those other ones. I'm not even halfway, and I've only listened to 3 albums from them. But it's all of different varying styles. Each disc is different, but it's Lordi's take on what was at the time and all that stuff. The 90s, industrial, new metal. Obviously, Abracadabra said 91, heavy metal was that, and grunge to some extent. And then you had Humanimals, which is their AOR album, kind of similar to, like, say, Bon Jovi, later Guns N' Roses. This is special on Use Your Illusion albums, where, November Rain, Queensryche in some cases, some of that stuff. But then obviously you have Transatlantic. They put out 3 editions. This version, which is the Breath of Life abridged version. There's the Forevermore, which is the extended edition, which I believe that is about, I think that's a double album from them. And then they have the Ultimate Edition. And all of them are pretty much the same style in terms of the music. You know what you're getting with these guys. It's more of like that progressive rock. I wouldn't say metal, there's maybe some metal moments, but not too much. It's more of that prog rock, like the Rush, the Pink Floyd, yes, Genesis, all that. That's what this band is pretty much. And they made multiple versions of it. I need to get those other versions of it, but I couldn't leave this off the list. But yeah, love this album. This album, and I figure I love both so much, I decided to give it a tie for those two. And at some point, I need to get the other two versions of this album and get the box set from Lordi. But yeah, those are a tie between Transatlantic, The Absolute Universe, and Lordi's Lordiversity. Next one, I'm not going to go into this one. Number 9, it's another one I own. Bottom After Midnight, Paint the Sky with Blood. It's a 3-song EP, the last thing Alexi Laiho did. I think this was all recorded in 2020, before obviously Alexei passed away. All I can say, fantastic. I just wish this was a full length, but it ain't. It's just an EP. Great EP. Love the title track. I love Payback's a Bitch. I love the cover even. The cover is great. But like I said, the only gripe I have with this is it should have been a full length, but it ain't. Rest in peace, Alexei. But yeah, this comes in at number 9. Number 8 is Colors 2 from Between the Bear and Me. Again, I don't own this. I have listened to it, and it is good enough to get onto this. Great sequel to their 2007 masterpiece, which I don't think is the best thing they've done. Obviously, they would do it later after Colors with The Great Mr. X, which is a fantastic album. That's perfect. Same with Parallax 1 and 2. They're both perfect, and I own both of them. And I own both of them, which is awesome. But I don't own this BT Bam album. I got it at some point. But from what I heard, it's BT Bam doing BT Bam stuff. The prog metal, progressive death, if you want to count it, because they do death metal vocals and stuff like that. But they got back to that style, and it is freaking amazing. It is freaking amazing. And I just need to listen to it again all the way through to get my thoughts on this. But yeah, I don't own it. Need to probably listen to it again to clarify if it is at some point. But from what I remember listening to it, it's a great album. It's you always expect a great album from BT Bam, and I definitely say it's perfect. I just need to listen to it to clarify if it is perfect. But yeah, it is. And number 8. Number 7 is Long Time No See, and it is spelled S-E-A, not S-E-E, by Attack Attack. Now, that's a name you wouldn't think me saying, because they hadn't put out an album in, 9, almost 10 years. This is their first studio album, and obviously some of the songs that they have that are on this, they have released individually, except for the closer, Dear Wendy. So they have released singles for the tracks. Obviously, All Out Live, Kawaii Cowboys, Breck, You're a Bombshell, Fade With Me, and then what was the other one? Press F, and whoo! Breck, You're a Bombshell are freaking great. I love all that. All My Life, freaking great one. Fade With Me, more electronica, but that's what you can expect from Attack Attack. You're expecting some electronica. They have it on that song. They have it on Fade With Me, All Out Live, and then the closer, Dear Wendy. And they have a little bit more dance party, basically dance party music, stuff like that, electronica stuff. But that's what you're going to get from Attack Attack. And it's a great album, a great EP, great comeback. I'm excited for if they ever do a full length. I'm really, really excited if they ever do a full length. But like I said, this one, it is number 7. Love the hell out of it. But albums on here are a little bit better than it. Next one, number 6. Getting back to an album I actually own. Arden Ogan, Final Days. European power metal, but you're not your typical European. They don't have the European power metal style with them. They do incorporate keyboards on here, but not by much. By much. The packaging on this is pretty freaking awesome. Pretty freaking awesome. Back with the track listing. So what you're gonna get is more of like if they were trying to be more, I guess, more of that American, the U.S. power metal style, where it's more guitar oriented, more heavier, kind of more thrashier. It is a little bit more thrashier and heavier. It's more on that the American sound. So bands like Iced Earth, freaking Sabotage. Much more of that heavier sound rather than your stereotypical power metal from the European bands. Like Rhapsody. Rhapsody/Rhapsody of Fire, which I will talk about later in this video. But it's not like Rhapsody/Rhapsody of Fire or Stratovarius or Blind Guardian or Halloween. It's more of the heaviness, that heavy side of power metal, the more US based. But fantastic album. Love the hell out of it. Obviously, some of the songs I love on here. I love the openers. I love Inferno. Freaking awesome song. I absolutely love it. In the Dawn of the AI, A Heart of the Android, Let the Fire Rain. Freaking fantastic album. I definitely say check these guys out if you're into the power metal stuff. But yeah, and they come in at number 6. Number 5. We're in the top 5, and I placed this here because I know I wanted to put it in the top 5, but from the limited time I have heard from this album, I enjoyed it. It is Mastodon's Hushed and Grim, double album from them. And from the limited time I have heard this, it sounded great. I just need to listen to it more to clarify if it is top 5 material. Well, my favorite song so far from it is Teardrinker. And I absolutely love it. It's a fantastic song. I didn't care for the third single they released. I did care. I did like the first single. First single was pretty cool. But Teardrinker, freaking awesome song. Love it. Not much I could say. It's Mastodon. You know what you're getting with Mastodon. And yeah, that's number 5. Number 4, I was able to fully listen to all of these. These 4 I have fully listened to all the way. Number 4, Rhapsody of Fire. Glory for Salvation. Now, I mentioned that they're more your stereotypical European power metal style. Obviously, they are. But the cool thing about them is they do concept sagas. This is them getting back. This is the second album in their current saga called the Nephilim Empire Saga. This is only their second album in this. And at some point, I definitely want to do one whenever it's all completed. I want to do a retrospective for them, but I want to wait till this current saga they got ends and stuff like that. But great music, obviously. What more can you expect from them? It's that traditional European power metal. It's great guitar works. The keyboards it's keyboard centric, obviously, because that's what it is when it comes to European power metal stuff. It's going to be more keyboard centric and stuff like that. But I enjoyed the album through and through. Love the story that was being told through this one, and absolutely love it. Great album, and that's my number 4. Number 3, it's kind of obvious because it is their third album. Number 3, Liquid Tension Experiment, LTE3, or Liquid Tension Experiment 3, or simply shortened to LT3. Their first album in 22 years. 14 years if you count Spontaneous Combustion, and at some point, yes, I will do a retrospective for these guys, because their music, it's all instrumental, but you wouldn't expect me to have an instrumental album this high. There are a few exceptions to the rules, though, and these guys are one of those exceptions, and all because freaking Mike Portnoy, John Petrucci, and Jordan Rudess get back together for the first time since Black Clouds and Silver Linings. It is And it is a fantastic album all the way through. Hypersonic, fantastic. Freaking heavy passage of time, beating the odds is freaking great. The epics on there, Rhapsody in Blue and Key to the Imagination are freaking fantastic. This album as a whole is fantastic, even though instrumental music, but they get the job done, and it is a fantastic piece. I'm so happy to be owning this album, their first album in nearly 22 years. But yeah, this comes in number 3, fantastic album, and it leads into the next band on here, number 2, the return of the Masters. Number 2, Dream Theater, A View from the Top of the World. All I have to say is Dream Theater is back. Dream Theater is back. Dream Theater is back. Back to being the masterpiece machines that they are. Oh my God, the album is it's so damn good. You know, from The Alien to Answering the Call to Invisible Monster, what was it, Giant or something like that? The Sleeping Giant, Big Giant, all the way to the 8-string beast that is Awaken the Master, and then the title track, a 20+ minute. Whew. All I'll say is they redeemed themselves when it comes to a 20-minute epic after Elimination Theory, which is I don't like mentioning it, but they came back with a vengeance, and I absolutely love this album. But you're wondering, it's not number 1. Why is it number 1? Well, let's get into that one now. Number 1, and I had waited for this one to come out so that way I can be able to maybe make my list. But number 1, and after, is The Puzzle / Snuggles from Devin Townsend. Finally, after so many times, after almost a decade, he finally has an album, and he's getting all of his bands, whether it be Casualties of Cool, the Devin Townsend Band, the Devin Townsend Project, Shabby Young Lad, and his solo stuff, Devin Townsend. He's getting the retrospective, and I'm super happy that he finally sits atop the throne for me after coming close so many times on 3 separate occasions: 2012, 2014, and 2019. He came so close in 2014 and 2019, but finally in 2021 he sits atop the mountain. He's where he belongs now. No album is going to dethrone him at this point, because really there's nothing that's going to surprise me unless something does. But that is my number 1. Devin Townsend's The Puzzle and Snuggles. But the music itself, what's the music like? Well, the music on it it's got guitars, obviously. There's guitars in there, but it's kind of, the word I can't describe is avant-garde in some cases. There's just so much going on, but for some reason, it works. It works. And, you know, I personally prefer The Puzzle. Fantastic. But I do love Snuggles. But yeah. Yeah, the music is, I've listened to it multiple times, and the one song that stuck out to me the most is Starcasm. And whoo, holy shit, that is heavy. Oh my God, it's super heavy. Like, it's to the point of where Devin is screaming and growling, like, oh my God. It is, whoo. The rest of the album is very calm. It's very ambient. It's got a lot of things, a lot of different instrumentations, you know, orchestra, you know, traditional instruments that aren't guitars or bass or drums and stuff like that. You know, you got all choirs. It just, everything comes together, and it just, to me, it just works. It's so damn. It's not really that long. It's only about the puzzle is about an hour, a little over an hour, and then Snuggles is about a little over half an hour. But both are freaking great albums, and I can't get enough of them. They're freaking great, and I keep listening to them on repeat, and they're freaking amazing. It's freaking amazing, and yeah, the puzzle slash Snuggles is number one. Devin Townsend's finally number one. So yeah, so that means obviously Devin Townsend is getting the retrospective. He's getting the retrospective series. Obviously, this goes straight into a segment here. I wanted to bring this one up. What's coming out for us in 2022? Obviously, the aforementioned Devin Townsend retrospective series, which I've dubbed it the musical genius of Devin Townsend retrospective series. All 5 of his bands strapping the Casualties of Cool, which only did one album, so that one's going to be short. The Devin Townsend Band, the Devin Townsend Project, Devin Townsend, Strapping Young Lad, and Devin Townsend Solo. That's coming in 2022. One of the other things I also want to mention that is going to be coming to the channel is if y'all remember when just a little bit before I was starting to incorporate retrospectives, just I had videos from an old friend of mine named John. His name is John, but he went by Cthulhu Reviews, and he did full-on discographies for the bands Rush, which I joined him in with 2112, and the band Yes. At some point next year, I'm going to combine all the videos regarding Yes and Rush, including the one with me, maybe a little bit more shortened, maybe a bit more shortened in this case. But those videos will be happening. Just need to be able to download them, combine them, and then boom. And be able to be done with it. And then be done with it. Just edit them and just, be done. Be done. And so those are coming in 2022. Maybe the live streams Metal Ben did, or maybe it might be something different. Maybe I might do another one that might be coming in 2022, and I just gotta try to remember at the moment. Let me see if I can look at my notes. Coming back over to here now. All right, I just looked at my notes. One of the things that just happened yesterday was the abysmal of the Ozzy Osbourne ranking. I had been wanting to do something for Ozzy for quite a while now, and I'm deciding that sometime in 2022 I'm going to be doing a my own video. After all this time, doing my own video for Ozzy. And then the only other thing I can mention right now is I was looking, for some odd reason, I was looking into some of those older retrospectives I did at the beginning of my channel's infancy. And one of them that I saw that I felt like, I look at it now and I'm like, I don't feel satisfied with it. And that is my retrospective for the band Demons and Wizards. Now, obviously, a lot of things have happened with that band since then. And, I felt like, why not touch base on it again and, maybe redo it and in a better fashion. So, yeah, at some point in 2022, Demons and Wizards is gonna be redone. I'm gonna get a redo. I'm gonna redo them. Maybe obviously this time with a little better editing. But yeah, obviously bands I also mentioned I'm doing retrospectives for. That would be obviously Liquid Tension Experiment, maybe Dream Theater, maybe. But there's just a lot of others. But yeah, those are things that are planned. I didn't want to waste time, so waste y'all's time. So unless y'all, whoever is in the chat right now, um, you know, I really bitch. This was all I wanted to come on here and talk about. Was my top 10 that I'm can finally say did that now. This might be the last live stream for me for quite a bit because I wanna focus on my Agalok retrospective that starts Winter Mayhem 1 for us. But I want to take that time so that it might be a while before I do another live stream again. But I figure I come on here. This might be just the last topic, the last thing I talk about this year. So at least this might be the last, at least for a while. I wouldn't say it would be the last one of the year, but it might be for a while. If it does turn out to be the last one of the year, so be it. But thank y'all for watching. To at least to those who have joined live or watching this as a video, thank y'all for watching. If y'all enjoyed this, click the like button or the dislike button. Your call. Even though I probably won't know how many of you dislike it now because if you YouTube, tube. But comment below what your thoughts are on this list, on my list, and the things that are going to come from the channel, whether it be on here or on Utreon. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and also go and follow our Utreon channel. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. This has been my top 10 favorite albums of 2021. And we'll see y'all later. And as always, keep things metal.